Hello everybody, that Montana guy bringing you another video. Today we're going to be talking about New Deal. I have a special guest with me today. This is my grandmother. She was actually at New Deal for a good portion of time. So if this is something that you're interested, stay tuned. So as I said, this is my grandma. Grandma, thank you very much for allowing me to do this interview with you and kind of talk about the history of New Deal and what you remember.
Thank you.
Yeah. So New Deal was from 1934 to 1940. Is that correct? Do you remember?
I'll probably start a little before that.
A little before that. Okay.
Yeah.
When did? How old were you when you moved there?
I was 4 years old in 1937.
1937. 4 years old.
Mm-hmm.
Wow. Why did you move there?
Why did we move there? It was because of the Depression and the Dust Bowl.
The Dust Bowl.
Yeah, my dad needed a job because
Okay.
he couldn't make a living on the farm anymore.
Okay. So that's has to do with the WPA, correct?
Mm-hmm.
Okay. Well, if you're not familiar with the WPA, it's called the Works Progress Administration, renamed in 1939 as the Work Projects Administration, which was the largest and most ambitious American agency. It was also created by Franklin D. Roosevelt. So, how long were you in New Deal?
I was 4 years old when 4 years old when we went there, and then I was 7 when we left.
7, so about 3 years.
3 years.
Okay. Was any of your family born there?
My oldest brother Gene was born there in 1937.
1937.
September.
September 1937. Okay. Was he born in a hospital or
He was born in the home, in our house, little
little
New
shack?
Deal shack.
The New Deal shack, the
Yeah.
boomtown.
Yeah.
Okay. Was there even a hospital in New Deal?
No.
No. Well, do you remember the closest hospital? Probably Fort Peck.
Probably Glasgow.
Glasgow. Okay.
Probably.
And when you were there,
There could have been one in New Deal, but I don't remember.
you don't remember?
I know there was one in Glasgow.
Okay. So when you were living there, did you ever go to school there at all?
I started school in the first grade,
The first grade.
and I liked my teacher, Mrs. Lyons.
Mrs. Lyons.
Mrs.
You
Lyons.
still remember your teacher from this day?
Uh-huh.
I can't even remember any of my teachers. But that's really nice. When you were going to school there, do you remember, I mean, obviously you're 4 or 5 years old, but do you remember anything about your school?
Not too much about it, except I remember a little friend that I had.
Mm-hmm.
Then I got to spend the night with her one night. And anyway, the next night I was supposed to come home from school, and I didn't go home from school. I went back to my friend's house, and my dad was a little upset. So he came to get me, and I was in trouble.
You were in
Big
trouble.
time.
Big trouble. Big trouble. So why did you decide to go there for a second night and get into trouble?
Because they had a nice big house with an upstairs, and I thought it was such a nice house. So I wanted to stay in that upstairs one more time.
Oh, okay. Well, if you're not familiar, or if you don't know much about New Deal, it was kind of a little. The shacks that were there, they weren't very big. In fact, you were telling me, how many rooms did it have again?
Our house only had one.
Only one room, and there was
Made of wood.
made out of wood. Okay, so there was only one house or one room for this house, and it was roughly what, about 12 feet to
12, probably about 12 by 14 or 16. That
12 to
was
14,
big.
16. Yikes. Not like how nowadays, huh?
No.
No. So as you can see, that's why she decided to be naughty and go to her friend's house, is because it had a second story bedroom. Do you remember, I remember you telling me also something about you were walking to school and something about bulls. What was the story behind that?
There was a rancher that lived right next to where we lived, and he was a cattle rancher, and he had a bunch of cattle, and he had 2 bulls. One had horns, one didn't have horns, and they got in a fight this one morning when we were on our way to school, and my sister and I was scared and we went back home. And my mother said, you got to go to school, and the bulls are in the pasture, they're not going to hurt you, but she stood and watched us. So I was scared to death, and we took off running. My sister got ahead of me, I fell down, and she didn't even wait for me. I got up and went on to school.
Went on to school.
But the one bull was all bloody, and he was awful looking.
Was he? And then that shack too that you lived in, you said it was made out of wood. Was there a lot of those shacks that were like that, or were they made out of other
Some were tar paper shacks, and
tar paper shacks?
yeah.
Was that a big fire hazard? Do you remember any fires going on?
Nobody worried about it.
Nobody worried.
There was no fires, so everybody needed a place to live.
That's true. And
It's actually a good learning experience that everybody should go through. Then they'd learn the value of $1.
that's right. You heard it from her, okay? Pay attention. So, when you were living in this shack, I mean, this is being Montana, it gets pretty cold at night and during the winters.
It was cold there in the winter time. We had lots of snow and cold weather, so
What did you do for heat?
entertainment,
For heat?
coal and wood.
Coal and wood. You burnt coal and wood.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. That's something that's unheard of these days.
I know.
From, being Montana or American mostly. Your father brought you all there for work. And so he worked at the dam.
He worked at the dam, helped to build it, in the gravel department.
In the gravel department, okay. Did he work there on September 22nd, 1938, when that slide happened?
He was working there, but he had the day off that day, which he was lucky, because if he hadn't been at work, he would probably been underneath the, got in the flood. So, so he was lucky.
If you're not familiar with that, there was on September 22nd, 1938, at roughly 1:15 p.m., there was a landslide that happened on the on part of the dam, and there was 8 men total that got killed by that incident, and there's still 6 of them, I think, that are still buried inside that dam. When the slide happened, did you hear or see anything? I mean, was there like a big rumbling sound, or?
No, I don't remember.
Don't remember anything. Because of that your father working at that dam, roughly how far away was New Deal?
From where we lived, probably 2 or 3 miles. That was all.
Mm-hmm. Did he, when he went to work, did he walk there? Did he?
No, he drove.
He drove.
Drove his old pickup.
His old pickup, and if I remember correctly, you have a picture of that, don't you?
I do.
It's right here.
Yep.
Okay. I'll zoom in here and let you see this picture. It's quite a nice picture here. Do you remember how much your father was making a month, or how much an hour?
$4 an hour, $80 a month.
$4 an hour.
$80.
$80 a month.
Mm-hmm. That's what we lived on.
You and 4 others.
4 others.
Your mom, your father.
Sister and brother and myself.
Wow. Okay. What happened to that house after you left in 1937?
When we left up there in 1940, we moved the house back to the farm and used it for, my dad used it for a granary, because he didn't have a granary on the farm until he was able to build a granary. So it was used for a granary for 1 or 2 years. And then they used it for a spare bedroom.
Oh, really?
After that, fixed it up and used it for a bedroom.
I'll be darned. When you lived in New Deal, did you ever go to Fort Peck?
We went to Fort Peck, and my sister and I saw our first movie there at the movie theater, and it was the Shirley Temple movie. First movie we ever saw.
First movie you ever saw
That
was
was
Shirley
pretty
Temple.
thrilling.
Oh, I bet. When you lived there, do you remember kind of what the shack looked like from the inside? I mean, obviously you said it was a one room.
Yeah, actually it was okay. My dad kept it up, and it was okay. Looked okay.
Mm-hmm. Did you all have? Did you all sleep on the same bed, or did you have different
No,
beds to
we
sleep?
had, well, we kind of made one end as a bedroom. So we had the beds for the kids on one side and the parents on the other. And then our kitchen was, we had no front room, it was kitchen, bedroom.
Okay.
The kitchen was on the other end.
Hmm.
Cupboard and table and whatever else, chairs.
Okay. When you're saying that you had a bedroom for your mom and dad, and then you and your brother and sister, did you and your brother and sister sleep on the same bed, or did you have
My
different?
brother was a baby, so they kind of made a special bed for him. My sister and I shared a cot.
Shared a cot. Okay.
Yeah.
You were saying that your father made $80 a month. One thing you should kind of understand too is that the lots, not the houses themselves, but the lots in New Deal and more or 18 plus other little boom towns for the Fort Peck, they were renting the lot itself for $2 a month. So I thought that was kind of interesting how cheap everything. I mean, it was cheap compared to nowadays, but
Right.
back then it was kind of expensive.
But
Um,
$80 a month probably went farther then than paychecks do nowadays.
That's right. So you said that you had a stove to keep warm during the
It was
winter
like-
months.
Like a little pot-bellied heater.
Okay.
And then they had a cook stove too, so
So you had two different, one for
Yeah.
heat specifically, one for cooking.
yeah.
Okay. And when you were living in this, obviously you didn't have running water,
No,
so I
carried everything.
carried everything from
A well.
Oh, there was a well.
Yeah, there's wells there.
Okay. Wow. I didn't ever think there was going to be wells over there. That's pretty cool.
They had to have some way of having drinking water. Yeah.
Mhm. Or at least you didn't have to walk all the way to the
No,
river.
no, no, we didn't drink river water.
No.
We really didn't live that far from the river though.
Mhm.
It was pretty close to it, but it never flooded while we were there. The only flood we had was when we had a bad rainstorm one time and the water kind of backed up in the coulees and come down, and so they had a flood then, and then everybody was carrying the kids out, and somebody was carrying me out that I didn't know, and I wasn't very happy about it, I guess.
Some stranger, huh?
Well, I didn't know him, so
Yeah.
he was a stranger to me.
Yeah. And you said that that he picked you up and put you up on a hill where everybody was?
Well, we had to hike to higher ground, so till the water went down, and then everybody went home to mud.
So
We had muddy homes to clean up.
That kind of reminds me of the place that you and I went to a couple of years ago, I think. We were at the that 1959 earthquake.
Oh yeah, Quake Lake.
Quake Lake, yeah.
Yeah.
When the people that survived, they were going up to higher ground.
Yeah.
Back in the 30s and 40s, living in that one room shack,
I call it a house.
a house, okay, sorry.
Everybody was proud of what they had.
Yeah, that's true. Not like nowadays. So the house he lived in, what did you do for food?
For food,
Mm-hmm. I mean, you didn't.
raised
Did you ever?
gardens, and then bought stuff at the local grocery store. And sometimes we'd go to Glasgow or Nashua for groceries. Not often though, but
Nashua or Glasgow?
Nashua or Glasgow.
Okay.
Not often, no. We mostly went to stores in New Deal, and then for a treat once in a while when my dad could afford it, well, he'd go to the pharmacy to get some ice cream, and I always went with him.
Always went-
They packed a container about that big around, and so they could get a quart of ice cream in there. And they packed that ice cream so full that you could hardly get the lid on, but it was so good.
It's so good,
Yeah, it was.
especially during those
Yeah.
summer months, right?
Right.
And right here, this is Main Street.
Yeah,
Was
that's
that-
one of the pictures.
Was that this place right here?
Does it say pharmacy on there?
This is GM.
Oh,
Because then you have DJ Mayer Clothing Shoes. And then I can't see what that one reads.
It was one of the, it was, I don't remember exactly where. It had a name on there, some pharmacy,
Okay.
but
Um,
anyway.
If you're not familiar, these are some pictures that we have of New Deal. You had your own gardens.
They
Was
were just small, they were small gardens just to raise stuff, but that was more on the farm where they have bigger gardens, but up there they just had small places where nobody had too much room to do anything, so.
right. And you didn't have a refrigerator to keep
No.
things cool.
No,
What about a cellar? Did you have a
we
cellar?
didn't have we had a crawl space, that was it, but no cellar. That, I guess they put stuff down in the crawl space to keep it as cool as possible. But if you had ice cream, you pretty much had to eat it all, because there was no place to keep it from melting.
So when you had that big tub of ice cream,
We just had a quart.
oh,
For
quart?
5 of us, that wasn't too much each.
That's not too bad. During your stay, I mean, obviously, you said that your father took the truck from the house to work every day. Did you have any other means of transportation?
No,
That was the only one. It was either that or walking.
either that or walk. We walked to school every day.
And was that close by, or
Yeah, it wasn't that far.
wasn't that far? What did you do for fun in New Deal? I mean, the closest theater was over in Fort Peck. Was there anything in New Deal to do during?
Just once in a while, my dad would take us for a ride in a vehicle and we'd drive around the area. But there was no money for too much entertainment, so
Yeah,
that's why we enjoyed the movie, one and only.
the one and only. That's really good. And that's awesome. It's not like nowadays where everybody takes things for granted, you know.
Yeah, no,
Well, thank you very much, Grandma, for allowing me to ask you these questions about New Deal. I really do appreciate that. It's nice to.
hope everybody enjoys the video.
Thanks. Hopefully everybody does enjoy the video. And again, this is great to be able to see firsthand from your experience of a place that not too many people really know about.
No.
I mean, New Deal,
Just people my age, just,
just people your ages, or if they have books about it.
yep.
But New Deal, it's not even there anymore, is it?
No, no. We drove out there when we went up camping, and then we was gonna go up to Plentywood. And that, the last time we went there was 2014. And there's a few old shacks, fell to the ground that they just left there, kind of, I guess, for heritage, I
For
guess.
heritage,
Yeah.
mhm.
So it was kind of interesting to go back there to see where it was.
Oh, I bet. Yeah,
Yeah.
that would be great to see.
Yeah.
There's that's a lot of great history that was taking place there.
And everybody should go to the Interpreter Center. That's what it was called.
The Interpretive Center.
Yeah.
That's where you got these
That's
photos.
where I got those pictures.
Okay.
It's well worth seeing.
Well, thank you for Interpretive Center for these lovely pictures that you gave to my grandmother to be able to give to me. We really do appreciate those. And again, thank you very much, Grandma, for allowing me to ask you these questions.
Glad I could tell you what I remembered.
What you remembered. So, well, this is That Montana Guy bringing another video. Hopefully you guys enjoyed it. If you did, give it a thumbs up. If you like more videos like this, consider subscribing. And what I'd like to know too is, for any of you individuals that are watching, do you have any loved ones that have information on places like this where they lived when they were younger? I would love to know more about it in the comments down below. So again, thank you for watching. Stay safe and enjoy the woods.